Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for the match review of Chievo against AC Milan. Match I finished moments ago at the Stadio Bentegoli, where Milan won 3-1 with goals coming in from Kucka, Niang, and an own goal from Dainelli, which was originally shot by Bacca. Overall, a good result for Milan. Definitely the result that they needed, the 3 points coming in after the international break. And really, I have to say that I wasn't expecting this kind of match from Milan for various reasons. Of course, the first half, if you guys watched it, was very, very dull, especially from a Milan fan standpoint. It was a first half that was heavily dominated by Chievo. They had lots of possession, and Milan really found a hard time to generate any goal scoring chances, let alone get the possession themselves that they needed. So not a lot of occasions for Milan, not a lot of chances going forward. And I think that Chievo deserves something more in that first half for the way that they played. Milan was good, however, defensively to close them down, and that didn't give them much space to generate any further chances. Now, Milan at the end of the first half took the lead with a beautiful goal from Kucka. Of course, there was a Chievo mistake there. But, this is something that I've been noticing, kind of a trend going on with Milan. Sometimes, it doesn't really matter if Milan has most of the possession or are controlling the game. What matters for Milan nowadays, especially with the efficiency that I see coming in from certain players, is that they do click at the right moment at the right time. And that's exactly the type of thing that we've seen with most of Milan's goals today, if not all of the Milan's goals. Because Kucha's goal came from a mistake. He took that shot and it came in. It wasn't like Milan actually generated a goal-scoring chance themselves. It was more given to them. But Kucka had a good kick. He had a good shot, and that is what got us that goal that pretty much put us in the lead right before halftime. Then the same thing could be said about Niang. An individual action, not really a goal-created chance by the whole team in general. It was more an individual effort rather than anything. And of course, the last goal where Bacca took the initiative himself to kick it in Dainelli's face, which ended up in the back of the net. But I have to say I'm happy with the result, of course, which this result puts us tied for second place for Roma on 16 points. Honestly speaking, I wasn't expecting this type of position in the standings after 8 games. I think that it would have been way worse, way much of a slower process for Milan. But picking up 5 wins in 8 games so far is not a bad statistic at all for Milan. I think we picked up some very good points so far, and hopefully we'll continue along this road. Of course, next week is the big match against Juventus, which are currently sitting 5 points ahead of us in the standings. So I think you guys could all understand the purpose and the meaning of that match. But getting back to this, guys, once again, we saw today a lot of different players that usually didn't get much playing time. And I'm speaking about Locatelli getting one of his first few starts in the Serie A. I think he played a pretty decent match. Of course, nothing spectacular as I was expecting, but I think he did a share of the game. I think he controlled the midfield in a way that he should have, especially in that second. Like I said, transition between the midfield and the attack was absolutely garbage, unbearable really to watch. But after that, Milan kind of kicked it up a gear. They started playing better, and everything pretty much fell into their hands in that second half. But, a lot of people are still making that debate. Who should be playing in that middle now that Montolivo's gone? Should it be Jose Sosa or should it be Locatelli? Well, personally, I like how Locatelli played. I would continue with him. But the big question mark going forward is, will Montella keep playing Locatelli now that we have such a big fixture like the one against Juventus next week? Is he willing to risk a young player in that midfielder role right in the middle where it is such a crucial role for many players? I'm not quite sure, but I'm quite interested in what Montela's approach will be coming next week. But I think that Locatelli could get the job done if he does continue to play and get a starting position at Milan. Also defensively, once again, I like how Paletta played. Once again, I have to say that he's possibly our best center back, if not defender, in our team so far this year. I think he's had so many great performances, and he continues to shine for Milan in what really shouldn't. At least that's what many people were saying. It shouldn't have been so that Paletta had that leading position coming into the season. Many people were looking at him like as a substitute, a guy that wasn't even going to start any games. And look at him now, getting the start every week and performing to high standards. I think Nishio did quite well as well. He put in a few tackles, a bit more courageous going forward sometimes, but still needs to work on certain things. I like the approach from Milan in that second half. The first half, it was just way too passive, like I mentioned already. Not enough aggressivity. And I'm hoping that Milan continue to play like that second half. I don't really understand why they always have to get themselves started on a low pace kind of game. But hopefully that changes. Hopefully that they start playing like they did in that second half. Because if we start playing low pace like that against Juventus, or more just giving the ball away, we're definitely going to lose that match. So hopefully that changes overall. I'm pretty sure some of you also want to know my thoughts on Lapadula. Now, I think that Lapadula, he had some certain good chances this game. I think that he came out strong. Something that many people probably won't really notice is that he was kind of involved in those two goals. He was working hard to press the defenders into following him, and that allows some extra space for Kucka and Niang's shots to go through. So I like his work rate. He also had a big chance that was saved by Sorrentino. Unfortunately for him, that didn't end up in the back of the net. But I think he had a positive impact overall in tonight's performance. Hopefully, we'll see more of him in the coming weeks. I don't think that he'll be playing against Juventus unless Montella is trying or is willing to try to change module. But that is highly unlikely. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think that Lapadula, needs to get more playing time. He's shown good things today. I think with time and more opportunities to showcase himself, he will get the goals. And I'm pretty sure that they will come for him because he is a prolific striker. I'm pretty sure that he's capable of playing at high standards. And it was kind of unlucky that he didn't get a goal today, but I think with a bit more playing time, he will find his scoring touch once again, that scoring touch that he had in the Serie B last year with Pescara. Now, guys, it's time for you guys to send in your questions and comments about tonight's fixture between Chievo and Milan. I will be reading them for the next 5 to 10 minutes, so if you guys have any questions, any comments regarding players' performances today, leave them down in the comments section below. I will try to answer as many as possible. If I don't answer your question, it is not because I don't see it, but it's more because I'm trying to answer different types of questions that haven't already been answered. Sometimes I see a lot of repetitive questions, so that is why I don't always try to answer the same type of questions. I try to have a bit of variety in the questions that I answer. So go ahead, send me your questions, send me your comments. I'll be reading them for the next 5 to 10 minutes and give you guys some feedback on that. So, first of all, I see a comment coming in from Casey saying Locatelli will be an important figure for Milan in the next 2 years, and I do believe so. Now, today we saw after Niang's goal, the celebration, Niang holding up that Montolivo shirt, and I do understand that the players are all together with the captain. They've shown their support for Montolivo in what he will be out for about 5 months or something, 5-6 months. So I'm happy that they're showing the support to their captain, and that is very good to see because it it is important to have that type of unity in a team. Everyone plays for each other and not individualness. So I'm happy to see it on that resort. But getting back to Locatelli, I think that Montolivo will be losing a spot, no doubt, in a year or two, because Locatelli is an Italian that is born within the Milan system, and he needs to showcase. He needs to have that Milan identity, and I think he's exactly the type of player that Milan kind of need in that position. So we'll see what happens, but I do believe that he could be very, very important. Can Fabregas become a leader for Milan to change the confidence of the team? Well, it's funny that you say that, Gassan, because I was just speaking to my brother throughout the match about Fabregas and his opportunity to maybe come to Milan in the winter. And I think that he will be a very impactful player if he does arrive. I think it will be very important if he arrives. But I think Fabregas, just like other players that come, big, important players that come to Milan or any other team, it kind of gives that confidence in the locker room. It kind of gives them a boost to certain players to play better, to, I don't know, it just kind of gives me that sensation that certain players play better, give it more of their all when there are bigger leaders or more experienced players in the team. So I think that if Fabregas does arrive, I think that it will definitely be a positive impact to the team. Did Lapadula played well today? I answered that question before. I kind of actually mentioned it, but I'll say it again. Yeah, Lapadula, in my opinion, played quite well. I mean, he generated a few chances. He pressured the defenders in opening up some space for Suso and Niang, also for the midfield. So I'm happy in the way that he played. Once again, he needs more playing time to actually get into that groove, that goal-scoring groove, in my opinion. Is Jack back? That's actually a good question, SHN. I've been speaking about Bonaventura a lot in these opening games of the season, and I kind of criticize him in certain circumstances because I'm expecting more from Bonaventura, especially in those first few games of the season, and I don't think he did quite well in those games. I was expecting more. Of course, maybe he was trying to adapt more to that left midfield role in which he wasn't too keen on playing in the first place. But I think that today he actually showcased, he did well, and I hope that he continues with this type of performance. I remember on one occasion, actually, I think he dribbled past 2 or 3 players, round down the wing, and that is exactly what I want to see from Bonaventura. So yes, I think that he's back. I know it's only one game, but I think if he continues to play the way that he did today, he's definitely going to continue on a good path and get back on that road. Will you make videos with other football YouTube channels? If there's the opportunity, definitely. I do make some videos sometimes with Italian Football TV. If you guys haven't checked them out, please do so. Paletta may be our most important asset in the defense. He's been superb and great. Yes, I've already mentioned that. I think that Paletta has been really fundamental for Milan's backline so far this season. Ita Milan starting to show 8 Italian players starting today, most of all big clubs. I think, yeah. I'm very happy to see more Italian players integrated in the team. I like how there's more really Italian players that are starting to stand up for themselves in Milan because, in the past, there's been really some kind of diminishing amount of players, Italian players in Milan certain times. But I'm happy that we're seeing more Italian players altogether. Technically, if you look at Milan's backline, it's all Italian. So that is very nice to see, as well as Donnarumma. So I'm happy. I'm happy on that regard. If you look at Inter, these guys barely have any Italians. I don't even know if they have any Italians. And look how shit they're doing. So, you know what? I'm happy this way. And I'm more happy, actually, that Inter is, 10th place now or something? 11th. Like, how pathetic is that? So, yeah, I'm pretty happy. And as always, guys, Inter merda. Don't forget it. What lineup do you think will really face Juve? I think it's going to be a pretty similar lineup, to be honest. I like how Kucka really gave that work rate in that midfield, so I'm pretty sure that he's going to start. As for the back line, pretty sure there will be no changes whatsoever. I think the only change from the starting 11 that we saw today is that Bacca will be starting instead of Lapadula. But, of course, we'll have to see what happens throughout the week, because of course a lot of things could happen in training that we don't know of, so we'll see what Montella decides. Hope we play even better against Juventus next weekend, considering we have young players and 8 Italians starting today. What is the point of signing Pasalic and Vangioni if we never play them? Well, that is a good question that you asked there, Serial Killer. Sick name, by the way. But, well, first of all, Pasalic and Vangioni, these guys were brought in not to start in games. And personally, I think that there's better players than them at the moment at Milan, that even though they're not starting, they are the right ones that are getting substituted when they have the chance to come on. So I really don't think that that Vangioni or Pasalic should be getting the nod in front of these players. But, you never know. Maybe one day or another, they could actually get the chance to come on and showcase what they're worth. And maybe Montella will see something out of them. But right now, I see other players, even on the bench, are doing better than them when coming on. So I don't see a reason as to why Vangioni or Pasalic should get a starting role, or as for that reason, even coming on in certain matches. My opinion on Abate and Deschio's performance: Abate needs to do better. He's not doing quite well. I think he did okay today. It wasn't that bad. I was more happy with what Deschio did, to be honest, but we'll see what we go on from there. Once again, personally, I would prefer Calabria starting over Abate, but I think a lot of people would actually prefer that, but we'll see what happens. As for now, it seems that Abate is actually the captain now that Montolivo's done. He's out injured, so I think he'll be getting a lot more playing time. Abate, I think he'll be starting in most matches rather than Calabria. Just a few more questions before I sign off. So, guys, keep sending them in, or if you guys have comments on tonight's performance, keep sending those in. Foot F1 King says Montella did a good job. To be third with these players is almost a miracle. Well, personally, I don't think we have a very bad team. I think we actually have a good group of players. There's actually teams that have decent amount of players, decent good players, and they're not doing that well. There's like Fiorentina that's very underperforming at the moment. They haven't won a game in the last 4. Then there's teams like Inter, of course. I mean, we're still pretty tight with all of these teams, but there's certain teams that are not doing well. And then you got Milan that finally came together as a group, and now they're undefeated in their last 5 games. So I'm happy how things are going. Hopefully we continue down this road. But if you ask me at the beginning of the season, was I expecting this from Milan? I would definitely tell you, no, we are not. So I wasn't expecting it whatsoever. I'm happy in the position that we are in, and hopefully we'll continue down this road once again. When is Antonelli back, and when will Fernandez play? If I'm not mistaken, Antonelli should be back in a few weeks. I think we're playing against Pescara. From what I heard, I think he might return for the game against Pescara. As for Matty Fernandez, I'm really not sure yet. Maybe could be November, December. I'm really, really not sure as of for that. Gio, I think Milan should get Bade. Your thoughts? Yes, I do believe that we should get him. Obviously, he's been very linked with Milan, but I do think that Milan should actually go for him and hopefully convince Fiorentina to get him. Of course, I think that Chelsea have actually been interested in Milan Badé this week, so we'll see what's going to happen with that. So that's going to sum it up, guys, for the match review of Chievo against Milan. Thank you all, guys, once again for joining me in this match review. If you haven't watched the preview yesterday, I mentioned I've been very busy in recent days with a lot of schoolwork assignments and stuff like that, and that is why I haven't been able to really make many videos. This will be going on for the next few weeks, but I'll keep making match previews and reviews, of course. I'll try to get Adamo to make some videos throughout the weeks as well to help out. But that is the current situation going on with me right now. So if many of you are kind of wondering why I'm not posting as frequently, now you know the reason. So on that note, guys, thank you for watching once again. Don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with everything going on at Milan. And I'll catch you guys later for another video. This has been Gio signing off. And as always, Forza Milan.